And here we go! Grab your tea, grab your biscuits, and maybe hold onto your pearls, because if you thought the royal family had scandals before, baby, you haven't heard anything yet. Because today, we're stepping inside Buckingham Palace not through the front gates, but through the staff entrance. And trust me, the view from the servants' hallway is a whole lot uglier than that balcony photo op they keep feeding the world. Imagine this, a royal maid, yes. A real palace insider, the one who irons Camilla's silk night gowns and picks up the wine glasses she thinks no one sees, suddenly flips. She goes rogue. She leaks everything, screenshots, voice notes, CCTV, and not just gossip. I'm talking receipts so explosive they could blow the crown jewels clean off the monarchy's head, and the moment Prince William saw the evidence. Let's just say Buckingham security had to turn off the cameras, allegedly, according to palace walls that talk. Why did a maid risk everything? Why is Camilla suddenly unavailable for royal duties? Why does William look like he aged 20 years overnight? Welcome to the scandal they tried to bury under a gold carpet. Welcome to the truth the palace press office is praying you never hear. This is the beginning of Maid leaks Camilla's secrets with evidence. Just watch William's reaction. Brace yourself. The crown just cracked. Let's get one thing straight right now. When a palace maid talks, baby, the porcelain teacups aren't the only things shattering entire royal reputations crumble. And this didn't start as some petty kitchen gossip over silver polish and corgi biscuits. No, this began the night Camilla thought the world belonged to her, and forgot that the help has eyes, ears, and apparently a better Wi-Fi connection than the palace media team. So picture this like a Netflix scandal with British accents. The clock strikes to 47 a.m. The hallways? Silent, curtains drawn. Guards half asleep guarding portraits that cost more than the GDP of small nations. And in a dimly lit corner, a maid whose name we can't legally mention, but rhymes suspiciously with Camilla's worst nightmare, presses record on her phone. And what does she capture? Oh, nothing major! Just Queen Camilla, yes, the reformed mistress turned monarch edition, on the phone whispering like she's auditioning for a villain role in a historical drama reboot. William will not replace me. Not now. Not ever. Her voice? Tense, shaking. Someone who knows their crown doesn't fit secure. See. The fake fairy tale was that Charles loved Camilla since the dinosaurs roamed and Diana was just in the wrong timeline. But insiders know the real plot twist. Camilla has been fighting for power like it's the last bottle of gin at a royal Christmas lunch, and apparently, the maid didn't just overhear one call. She had weeks of build-up, notes, footage, even sworn statements from two other palace staffers who allegedly signed NDA letters so strict, if they blinked too loud, they risk exile to the Tower of London gift shop. Let's back up. To understand this chaos, we need to remember Camilla's history. The public tried to forgive her. Let bygones be bygones, they said. Diana would want peace, they said. Yeah, well, from the way this maid describes things, we're not living in the Queen Camilla redemption arc, we're in the villain origin story special edition, complete with royal tantrums and secret plotting sessions. So, what triggered the maid? Loyalty? Justice? Revenge? Try this. Camilla, in a moment of royal arrogance, allegedly told staff they should thank me. I saved this monarchy from itself. Saved? Girl, Diana walked so Meghan could run, and Camilla tripped on the carpet trying to catch up. But here's where it gets messy, like Meghan dash and dash Harry dash Oprah dash interview dash, but dash with dash a dash bigger dash budget messy. The maid began noticing patterns. Closed door meetings. Messages burned literally over the palace fireplace like it was 1742, a delivery driver making. Late night drop-offs labeled private library. Donations that suspiciously looked like sealed bankers' boxes and expensive jewelry catalogs. Then came the argument. Not between two maids or footmen, no. Between William and Camilla. According to our household whistleblowing queen, William confronted Camilla after discovering administrative activities around Charles's schedule and documents. In plain English, allegedly, Camilla managing access to the king like a nightclub bouncer with trust issues. Sources claim William snapped, saying, "Enough games, Camilla. "We are not your pawns," and Camilla replied with that frosty tone we all imagine. "If you want the throne sooner, learn patience. And loyalty, patience, loyalty? Sis, that's not palace leadership, that's giving mob boss. Energy and pearls," and that's when the maid realized this wasn't some royal soap opera, this was a real-life monarchy meltdown. Because shortly after that argument, King Charles fell ill, doctors rushed in, press statements were carefully worded, and Camilla reportedly spent the evening pacing like a CEO waiting for a hostile takeover to finalize. Coincidence? You decide. This maid didn't just leak notes, she leaked timestamps, behavior logs, voice snippets, and, according to whispers, even a mysterious envelope labeled for William, urgent truth. And what did William do when he saw the first piece of evidence? He walked out of the room, silent, face pale, hands shaking. The same man who survived tabloid wars suddenly looked like he'd seen the ghost of royal scandals past. And honey, that ghost wears tiaras and revenge gowns, and while the palace PR team was somewhere drafting phrases like routine health check and private family matter, this maid was preparing her hard drive like it was the nuclear launch codes. She didn't run. She didn't hide. She waited and watched. Because she knew something monumental was coming, and the palace knew too. They could feel the walls closing in. This wasn't a rumor. It wasn't a TikTok conspiracy. It was a storm brewing in plain sight. And when Camilla realized someone inside was documenting her every move, oh, she didn't panic. She smiled, because the scariest thing in the monarchy isn't silence. It's a queen who thinks she's untouchable. And that's exactly where our story snaps into its next chapter, the night everything spilled over. And Buckingham Palace learned the meaning of the help sees everything. They say the palace walls have ears. Wrong. The palace staff do. And unlike walls, they talk, whisper, screenshot, forward, and save copies to Google Drive just in case MI5 decides to get creative. The maid wasn't stupid. She knew once Camilla sensed betrayal, someone was going to take the fall. And in that palace, the person with the least titles loses first. So she secured herself like she was planning to expose a billionaire tech CEO, not a monarch. Backup drives hidden in laundry carts. Passwords disguised as cleaning supply codes. One file even mislabeled dusting schedule, kitchen, because, let's be honest, nobody in that palace knows the kitchen exists unless someone's complaining about gluten-free scones. And then, the night of the hush-hush emergency meeting, it started with a red-level security alert. Senior aides summoned. Phones confiscated. William called in Harry, silent across the ocean, popcorn probably ready. And Camilla? Calm, almost smug, like she had already decided how the pieces would fall before anyone entered the room, according to our fearless insider. Camilla stood at the center of that private drawing room like she was auditioning for House of Dragons, Royal Grandma Edition. Her words cut through the room. Loyalty is not optional. If anyone thinks they can undermine me, they will regret it. A silence followed so thick even the Corgus looked nervous. William clenched his jaw. Not the polite royal clench, but the if this wasn't a palace, I'd throw a chair clench. The queen consort was not negotiating, not requesting, commanding. And then the bomb. And then the bomb. An aide stepped forward, shaking. He placed a sealed file on the table. Printed pages, transcripts, and what sounded suspiciously like recorded conversations. The maid's evidence had found its way to William through a sympathetic staff chain, and now someone had handed part of it to Camilla. She opened it, scanned, eyes narrowed. Then that terrifying little smile tugged her lips, so she whispered, "We have a little rat." Right then and there, a name was demanded. Innocent staff interrogated. One footman allegedly fainted. Someone swore they saw Camilla grip the edge of the table so tightly her knuckles turned ghost white, like a woman cornered who suddenly remembered she has claws. But here's where fate gets delicious. The maid wasn't unprotected anymore. William already had the core evidence. And apparently Charles, who the palace was still claiming was resting comfortably, was not as unaware as Camilla hoped. Word leaked he requested William privately before all this, whispering something only two people will ever know. Rumor has it he warned his son, "Not everyone in this palace wants the crown to go where it belongs. Let that sink in. The monarchy isn't just a family. It's a chessboard with velvet gloves and gold-trimmed secrets." And someone wanted Camilla's crown to be more than ceremonial. And the maid? She wasn't hiding anymore. She was preparing. While palace investigators combed servant quarters, she quietly met an outside contact at a florist shop. CCTV later malfunctioned, but witnesses say she passed a USB drive inside a bouquet of lilies. Subtle, no? Iconic? Absolutely. Meanwhile, public rumors began swirling. Royal reporters suddenly using vague language. Private tension, unusual internal movements, senior royal emotionally. Distressed, translation, someone's tiara is slipping, and the PR team is sweating through custom silk shirts. Then, the media distraction attempt. Boom, another charity photo op. Camilla smiling, William looking like someone swapped his morning tea with betrayal-flavored stress. Kate curiously absent. Charles still recovering. Convenient timing, isn't it? But people noticed. Comment sections everywhere. Why does Camilla look nervous? Why does William look like he hasn't slept? Where is Kate? Why are palace guards doubled this week? And then, proof hit social media. A leaked audio snippet, static, whispers, then a voice eerily resembling Camilla saying, "Control the narrative. If necessary, remove him from decisions." Remove who, ma'am? The king? The heir? A corgi that barked too loudly? Twitter sorry, X exploded. TikTok detectives got to work like they smelled royal blood and ad revenue. YouTube conspiracy channels hit upload like it was Black Friday. And inside the palace, panic spread like spilled champagne on marble floors. William confronted Camilla again. This time without restraint. According to a footman who pretended to dust a priceless vase just to listen, "William, this ends now. Camilla, you lack the stomach for power. That is why you will always be second." If silence could scream, that room was deafening. Right then, William made a call, short, cold, tactical, and palace staff swear within hours. Attorneys began arriving in sleek black cars because when royals start calling lawyers instead of butlers, the monarchy is shaking. Meanwhile, the maid? Calm, ready. She didn't run. She stood by a window, watching blue lights reflect off palace stone as security scrambled, whispering to herself, "If they bury me, they bury the truth too," because she knew something the crown forgot a long time ago. Power isn't held by those on the throne. It's held by those who see what happens behind it, and that's when the final trigger fell into place. The king asked to speak with William privately again. No Camilla present. No advisors. Just father and son, behind a door with guards posted like a battlefield boundary. When that door opened, William's eyes were red, face steel, and the palace felt a shift, like history leaning forward in its seat. Something irreversible had begun, and Camilla? She knew it, because for the first time, she wasn't leading the game. She was being hunted by it, and the maid's evidence wasn't done detonating yet. Next comes the moment everything snaps. Royal. Public, global. And trust me, when a monarchy cracks, it never starts with soldiers or crowds. No, it starts with whispers behind silk curtains and footsteps that suddenly sound too loud on marble floors. And by the next morning, the palace wasn't a palace anymore. It was a breathing panic machine, phones locked. Security doubled. Senior staff summoned to routine briefings that looked suspiciously like interrogation rooms. Camilla's shoes echoed through the corridor like warning shots, sharp, decisive. The walk of someone who refuses to lose even when she's already bleeding power. But here's what shook Buckingham to its core. William stopped smiling. Not the polite royal smile. Not the everything is fine PR smile. No, he walked into the corridor like a storm in a tailored suit. Aides froze. Guards straightened. Even portraits of dead monarchs felt like they were watching history rearrange itself. Then came the moment nobody thought they'd live to see. Charles, frail, pale, yet strangely resolute, asked to see the maid, not Camilla, not the staff director, The maid. Two guards escorted her, but she didn't tremble. She walked in steady, chin lifted. If fear lived in that palace, it sure wasn't living in her anymore. Witnesses say Charles looked exhausted, not sick, but disappointed. A king who finally realized the battle for his crown wasn't outside Buckingham. It was sleeping next to them. He spoke softly, breaking centuries of royal silence with one sentence. Tell me everything. She did. Calm, precise dates, times, words. Who heard what? Who deleted emails? Who tried to silence who? A picture painted not by rumor, but by someone who spent years invisible, watching, listening, remembering. And Charles? His hand shook. For the first time, a sovereign didn't look like a ruler. He looked like a man who trusted the wrong person for far too long. That's when Camilla stormed in. No knocking. No announcement. Just fury and perfume entering like a hurricane wearing royal pearls. This is absurd. She is lying. This is treason. But Charles didn't look at Camilla. He looked at William. And that silence? Louder than any crown dropping, Camilla realized she lost the room. She tried to recover, turning venom sweet like only seasoned social survivors can. Darling, you know no one in this palace would betray us. This woman is confused, manipulated. William cut her off. Voice low, controlled, deadly calm. We have recordings. That was it. The crack. The second the queen consort's face dropped. Not dramatic, just still, like a chess queen seeing checkmate 3 moves too late. Even then, she fought. Power doesn't surrender politely. You take her word over mine. William didn't blink. I'm taking the truth over your theater. And suddenly, the centuries-old monarchy felt fragile. Not because of war, not because of politics, but because of ego wrapped in royal satin. Camilla turned on the maid, a glare that could curdle milk. You don't know what you've done. But the maid smiled, not smug, just relieved. I know exactly what I've done. I refused to serve lies. Then came the twist nobody expected. The legal team arrived. Quiet, neutral, like the angel of judgment, wearing custom suits. They handed Camilla a document, Emergency Royal Conduct Inquiry, translation. Internal investigation, the royal version of handcuffs made of gold and reputation. Cuffs made of gold and reputation. Camilla's face drained of color. She wasn't dethroned. Not yet. But her power frozen. Every word, move, and order suspended. She was still queen consort in title, but suddenly just a guest in the palace she thought she controlled. And William? He didn't celebrate. He simply exhaled, the kind of exhale you let out when you've been holding your breath for years. Then came the moment the world would talk about if they ever learned the truth. Charles reached for William's hand. Not as king to heir, but father to son. Protect this family. It wasn't instruction, it was surrender. A quiet transfer of real power. Meanwhile, outside, reporters noticed something. Palace gates tightening, helicopters circling, curtains trembling like ghosts. New drama was unfolding. Rumors online exploded. Emergency royal meeting. Camilla missing from scheduled event. William seen with security detail increases. Palace lawyer convoy spotted. Meanwhile, TikTok detectives were already editing dramatic piano music under blurry screenshots of Camilla's last public appearance. Twitter hashtags forming faster than royal PR could draft denial statements. And the maid? She wasn't arrested. She wasn't escorted out. She was thanked, quietly, secretly, because sometimes the greatest loyalty comes from the least likely uniform. She was moved to a secure location. Away from palace walls that suddenly felt like cages, Camilla's allies scrambled. Phones wiped, papers shredded, a kingdom built on secrecy choking on truth in real time. And somewhere deep inside those halls, Camilla sat alone, not a villain, not a queen, just a woman who climbed to high on a throne built on fault lines. No screaming, no outburst, just silence. The silence of someone who realizes the crown doesn't protect you when the kingdom decides you're the problem. And outside? The world waited. The press room lights flickered on. Statement expected. Royal staff whispering like the apocalypse arrived wearing royal brooches. And the people asked, Is this the end of the monarchy as we know it? Was Camilla exposed by the one person she never saw coming? Is William stepping into power sooner than planned? And what happens when truth escapes the palace gates for real? One maid, one file, one moment that changed a crown's weight forever, because kingdoms don't fall overnight. They fall when the invisible decide to be seen. And if this leak ever hits the public, oh trust me, the crown won't just crack. It will shatter. So, tell me, LUMI legacy family, after everything we just witnessed, after every whisper behind velvet curtains, and every royal mask slipping in broad daylight, what do you think? Is the palace truly built on loyalty? Or just painted gold over secrets? Did the maid reveal the truth? Or did she ignite a storm that has only just begun? And most importantly, is this the moment history flips the crown upside down? Because listen, power doesn't vanish quietly. It screams, it scrambles, it claws to survive. And this royal earthquake? We are only hearing the first tremors. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Team Truth? Team Crown? Or Team This Drama is better than Netflix? Tell me your predictions, your theories, your wildest guesses. What twist is coming next? Who rises? Who falls? Who silently packs their bags? And if you don't want to miss the next royal reveal, the next shocking leak, the next truth they pray never reaches the public, hit like, smash subscribe, and turn on that bell, because here at LUMI Legacy, we don't watch history. We expose it. We expose it.